My first day was really uncomfortable. I remember walking on campus not knowing what each buildings were. I couldn't find my classrooms to go to class, and I was just lost. I didn't know what they were expecting of me. They did, however, hand out a rubric, and the rubric made me even more nervous. I was alone, so I felt like a stranger to everyone.
When I first came to the program, I had brought my high school habits with me, and I really was just adjusting to college. I was still very immature, and I just kind of had a I don't care personality. As long as I get my work done, I could do whatever I want. And Ujima, yeah, they motivate you to make good grades and everything, but they also motivate you to be like a better person. And it's actually hard work to get that hoodie. And Miss Lopez, she didn't want me to think that just because I was getting good grades that I could act however I wanted to. To make a good example, she took the hoodie from me.
I was living out of my car. I said, well, no, it's something better out there for me. I know there's light at the end of the tunnel. This can't be it. I gotta keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And now I feel like I'm in a better place because of that mentality.
I live with my grandparents, and they're really religious. And, I grew up that way. I still identify as Christian, but they were raised in a different time as well. So they weren't open to other sexualities, other genders outside of the normal gender roles. I knew it wasn't safe to come out to them because my aunt had been outed, and my grandma cut off all contact, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to lose the relationship that I had with her because I had more of a relationship with her than I did my mother, and I didn't want to lose that, but at the same time, I didn't want to lose myself. And I was like, I always looked out for other people before myself my entire life. And I was like, if I keep doing that in this way, I'm not going to live past 18. I knew I had to move out of the house.
The literature and the assignments and the conversations that were brought forth in high school weren't relevant to me or like people who looked like me.
I took a sabbatical and worked in 10 industry sites for 3 to 4 weeks each. Came back home, tore up the curriculum I had written, and taught what I knew should be taught.
The AmGen program is the most significant experience to me as an intern at Pasadena Bioscience Collaborative because high school students their interest in science is being increased by performing the experiment with scientists over here. When I was in high school in Ghana, we barely had a lab. Lab equipment is very expensive. We couldn't really perform the experience, so most people who had an interest in science branched out into other areas. That is one thing I'd like to do when I visit Ghana next year, is to do a similar program like the AmGen program with high school students in Ghana.
What do I have in my hand? We can bet on that. Nothing. Every damn time. If I have one object in my pocket though, now there's a 50-50 chance when I pull my hand out, nothing or something. A second object, now it's 33, right? It's all of a sudden, I'm decreasing the probability. The more stuff I put in my pocket, the less predictable it is. The same is true of the universe.
Well, I used to hate, the type of class that you have to do, like, hands-on learning, and there's, like, pretty much, like, hardly any guideline of what you have to do. But now I'm starting to like these type of class. It really teaches me, like, I have to learn by myself and find things out myself and You know, let's like earlier he mentioned, you know, you have to know your level of expertise. Like let's say I don't know much about plants or soil, so I have to really go to the library or go online to search, you know, and learn as much about species as I can, and so that when I go to the field, I can just identify more easily. So that's why it really forces me to be more responsible and just know that, you know, if I don't know this, then I have to go and learn.
This is the Formula E annual event that we hold every summer. It's hosted by the Graduate Industrial Design Department at Art Center College of Design. The project is to develop little radio-controlled vehicles powered by 16 feet of industrial rubber band that have to compete in a series of 3 races.
Our car was conceived off of something from mid-century and like mid-century furniture, and it's actually evolved 5 times, so this is our 5th prototype essentially, and it's still developing. But we always wanted a body that had some kind of form to it and not made out of prefabricated components.
Students are lost sometimes, like they come to college but they're like, what am I going to do in college? Like they don't see any aspirations for themselves. And I mean, I think he's a good example because he's been in our shoes. He's been there where he's like, no, college isn't for me, and then he actually went beyond what he thought he could do himself. And so students can relate to that, connect with him, get advice from him.
I send question sets to my students every week that they have to answer for class from very dense reading. Other than that, I prefer the Socratic method of teaching, the dialogue. I think this is the best way for people to take ideas that are oftentimes thousands of years old and appropriate them in terms of their own life. And we're definitely very different in how we teach. You're very nurturing. I'm very in your face.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I've seen him do it.
I think my approach is that every individual has personal agency.
I'm amazed. I'm really in awe of how this class has helped me to really understand math.
What kind of math do we want students who are not going to be STEM majors? They're not math, science, technology, engineering majors. They're going to be, you know, maybe business majors or criminal justice majors or English majors or history majors, or maybe they're just going to get a certificate and enter the workforce. What kind of math do we want real people to know?
Knowing how to get the answer is so important.
How can we take the tiles and translate it into algebra notation? And so trying to bridge that gap for them.
I'm thankful for this.
You know, they learn better when they help each other, when they can explain things to each other. So we do tons of group work in this class.
The cards are different parts of the whole equation of the line, and we all represent an individual part of it by holding the card, and we come together in a very unorganized fashion, and then graph it for everyone to see.
This is Antonio Carlos Jobim's Waters of March.
One of the main emphasis of this class and all of our performance groups at the college is that in this day and age, it's so important for our students to learn to communicate a message that's positive, a message that's real and powerful.
Okay, I just really feel like the professors, especially in the music department, like Mary Durst and Mr. Matthews and Dr. Gates, Dr. Young, Dan Cole, Miss Wilkerson, they're all really enthusiastic about sharing the knowledge that they know and are genuinely caring about progressing the growth of each student. I also feel like they're not only our mentors musically, but also our life coaches. And my fear has diminished as far as performing because of my professors.
Well said.
Professor Rivas Gomez in the Puente program exposed me to literature that gave me like a contextual frame of thought and allowed me to relate the literature in the classroom to my own experiences that I have gone through in my life or growing up as a kid going through the education system.
I was able to get on my feet here at PCC, get out of that hardship situation. I had a good group of vets and I had a good support system in Miss Patty DeOrange Martin, Carol Calandra, and everyone a part of the veterans community to help me. We also have a veterans club as well on campus, which I am now the president of. They're also another form of social support, a huge advocate for veterans.
I knew I had to move out of the house, and that would make it safer for me to be truthful because I didn't have to worry about being kicked out or being sent somewhere. So when I came here, and I met Pinella, and he made it very clear that he was okay to reach out to, and he reached out to me. He'd check in with me. Hey, how are things at home? How are things at school? How are you doing? How's your friendships? How's your relationships? And that made me feel really comfortable. It's like, oh, hey, he's actually interested in my life, not just my grades in his class, not just graduating. He's interested in my well-being, and that's what made that connection a lot better than with other professors or faculty of any sort my entire life.
The hoodie symbolized you being dedicated to the program, and only a select few got the hoodie at first. So if you got the hoodie, it meant that you were a dedicated student in Ujima, and it meant that you were doing good in the program. Eventually, I gave up a lot of my bad habits and made a lot of big changes in my life. And I know Ms. Lopez saw that in me. And she knew it was sincere, so that's why she let me back in the program.
I don't feel alone anymore because I've made friends that care about me and make me feel confident.
You can do anything you want to with the help of your teachers and your peers.
Oh yeah.
Pretty awesome. 16 years old and
a great professor, everything he teaches us, we can bring into the world.
Being StanFan is simply just being inspired by his stories of success and what you could be and your potential as a designer.
Wendy and Bruce foster this incredible environment that is very supportive.
In every person, there is a hero.
There's a hero in every one of us.
There's a hero in every one of us.
There's a hero in every one of us.
In every one of us, there is a hero.
There's a hero in every one of us.
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 For 90 years at Pasadena City College, there's been a hero in every one of us.